Hi, this is Regina White Favors with the assignment sheet lecture for the Annotated Bibliography. This assignment sheet lecture accompanies the Annotated Bibliography lecture, which is a full lecture available on YouTube, and also separated into individual slides where appropriate. So the assignment sheet lecture, unlike the Annotated Bibliography lecture, is for the first year composition instructor interested in teaching the annotated bibliography. I think it's very important to get students researching very early in the course, especially a 15-week course that's going to require use of supporting evidence. If students can just begin researching and formatting the bibliography or works cited entries. So I use the annotated bibliography to gauge students' researching, reading, and writing readiness. Because the personal statement follows the annotated bibliography and it should reflect the student's willingness and understanding about tailoring the personal statement to a specific institution and program, the annotated bibliography gives them that opportunity to research the schools they are interested in transferring to, the career field that they are interested in entering, even if it is a tentative choice, and the understanding and entering an understanding about how important it is to tailor your writing to a specific audience. So with the annotated bibliography, this gives you, as the first year composition instructor, an opportunity to provide feedback and assess their readiness and any knowledge gaps that they might have, and also close those knowledge gaps through your feedback, so that this gives you an opportunity to see where they are in their understanding, especially transitioning from AP English or high school English, or just from any other type of exposure to English. This gives you an opportunity to see where they are and what gaps there are, and where you might have to tailor instruction in the same way that you are teaching them how to tailor their research to a specific topic, right? With the annotated bibliography. So this is the assignment sheet, and it is essentially an orientation to the annotated bibliography, but this assignment sheet accompanies the full lecture, which is fully explored in that lecture. So thank you for visiting the channel. Please like the video, hit the notification bell if you are interested in further videos. This is the assignment sheet lecture for the annotated bibliography. Thank you for visiting the channel. This lecture is subject to fair use. So the learning objectives for the composition instructor are, by the end of the lecture, composition instructors will be able to do the following: review the annotated bibliography lecture, research sample annotated bibliographies, research sample discipline-specific annotated bibliographies, analyze a source from an annotated bibliography entry, teach a sample annotated bibliography entry, create learning objectives, rubric, goals, and guidelines for the annotated bibliography assignment, and then create a writing assignment for the annotated bibliography. So we go over a sample English assignment sheet that I use for the annotated bibliography lecture. At the next level, the second course in the first year composition sequence, students usually create a thematic annotated bibliography, but this is basically the introduction and the role you would have to play as the composition instructor. See the annotated bibliography assignment lecture for an exploration of why the annotated bibliography is important and how it shapes your understanding of a topic and the corresponding research. This discussion reviews the assignment sheet for composition instructors. The lecture is appropriate for the first course in first year composition. So here's the sample writing assignment, creating the English assignment sheet for the annotated bibliography. So we get right into it. Again, if you are interested in listening to the full lecture where most of the ideas are fully explored, then you would have to see the annotated bibliography lecture. So the elements of the assignment sheet are the topic description, purpose, learning objectives, requirements, rubric, length, due date, plagiarism statement, sources. The assignment sheet should be succinct, include clear directions, and measure learning outcomes. So I didn't begin my preparation as a composition instructor with this understanding. This took some participation in professional development for me to get to this point. My initial assignment sheets used to be pages long. And so in attending professional development, learning how to tailor instruction, and also be much more succinct and precise in how you deliver instruction, because the assignment sheet is an instruction device tool. This helped me to really focus my attention on the content, on the assignment itself, and get students also to focus their attention on the assignment. So the goal of the Annotated Bibliography Assignment is to encourage students to conduct research on a topic before engaging the writing processes. The primary purpose of the Annotated Bibliography Assignment is to gauge students' readiness for researching and writing, to assess their capacity for first-year composition writing, and to provide feedback on their ability to format entries according to a standard citation referencing style. The secondary purpose of the Annotated Bibliography Assignment is to help students prepare for the personal statement which follows this assignment. So most importantly, students need to begin researching early. A lot of times as composition instructors, if we wait too long to get them to research, they miss the prime opportunity to visit the library, ask the librarian questions, begin integrating evidence. Usually at the first year course, the first course in the first year sequence, in some cases, I've noticed departments will have the teachers just assign summary work or response work or something like that. For me, I get students engaged early in the researching process, because you are going to have to integrate evidence at the next level. And so you might as well start in this course. They still get to summarize, they still get the response right, they still get to do peer review drafting, things like that. But you want to get them engaged in research before they begin writing, because then you might have one of those students who are so used to summarizing that by the time they get to the next level, they are actually offended at the idea of using outside sources. I've had multiple students throughout my years of teaching, and not many, but just a good few of them, who were really surprised that they had to integrate sources. For some reason, it didn't make any sense. It's like they thought that somebody else's words were taking over or something like that, and they couldn't use their own words. But in college writing requires use of supporting evidence, integration using MLA, APA, or Chicago style, or any other referencing style method. And so trying to get them into an understanding, even if all you required was just one source, that is a good start. And I noticed that in AP English, I never taught AP English, but I've had some students who came from AP English, and they are really good masters of using MLA. And so if AP English high school students are using it as early as whenever they take AP English, then community college students and students at the 4-year college or university context, they should also begin using it. So I think the annotated bibliography, you can set the limits as the composition instructor, but getting them started early enough so they can get accustomed to setting a schedule for when they would have to visit the library or use any online resource is very, very important. And then, of course, you want to gauge their readiness for researching and writing. Do they even know how to research? And do they know how to bring all their ideas into a writing medium? And then assess their capacity for first-year composition writing, which is going to require extensive writing at the community college level, and then whatever type of writing at the university level. And this gives you an opportunity to provide the feedback necessary, especially when it comes to formatting entries. This also gives you a reflection opportunity as the instructor to see if students move that knowledge forward. Do they always believe that use of MLA is only for that first assignment or only for a specific assignment? Students often ask for each assignment, do we need to use MLA? And it was a given when we were going to school. We didn't ask those questions. It's something in us, we just understood that we were using MLA. And I didn't have AP English. By the time I got to college, I guess it was just the way the professor said it, that it made sense to me that we would use MLA for all papers. So this gives you an opportunity, a feedback opportunity to see if they move that knowledge forward as well. And then, of course, this helps the students prepare for the personal statement, which follows the assignment. And the idea, the annotated bibliography is geared towards preparing the personal statement because students research their schools that they intend to transfer to or at least put in an application for. And so they need to take some time to research those schools so they can tailor their personal statement to individual schools and programs. So let's look at the topic description. We have discussed the concept of the annotated bibliography as it pertains to academic research. Creating an annotated bibliography affords you the opportunity to learn about your topic, prepare for a research project, and help to formulate a thesis. The annotated bibliography helps to determine if a source will be useful in shaping your argument. You will create an annotated bibliography for the personal statement to help you prepare for the topic of you, which involves understanding your academic plans and where you want to take yourself professionally. It is not typical to create an annotated bibliography in preparation for a personal statement. However, it is crucial that you take the time to learn about the school and the career you are interested in as you go forward, ensuring that you will be a suitable fit. With this in mind, you will create an annotated bibliography based upon the lecture and the preliminary research you have conducted to date regarding your transfer plans. The goal of this activity is to help you learn about your topic before sitting down to pen a personal statement. And so they need this process. As the composition instructor, the writing process always begins with the researching and reading parts of the process. And students often think that when they have to write the personal statement that it is a day exercise, sometimes the night before the application is due. But if we can get students to think about their 2-year transition planning as early as they can, it would be much easier for them to improve upon the personal statement instead of trying to write one in haste. So this annotated bibliography helps them to prepare for the topic of who they are as a person and where they want to take themselves. And if they are not interested in researching themselves, the you in themselves, it will be really hard for them to even think about the researching processes that they would have to undertake for the essays that they would have to write. So this is the topic description. So then the learning objectives would be research sources specific to the topic and assignment. So the topic of you, of course, create the annotated bibliography, and then synthesize ideas into a cohesive discussion. So, you know, when you write the annotated bibliography, it shouldn't look completely different. One source shouldn't look completely different from all the different other different sources. So if your major is accounting, I mean, you could have schools that have a different specialization and with accounting as the standard or as the base, but they may have a specialization in certain types of accounting, you know, financial accounting or something like that. But you definitely want to make sure that it is a cohesive discussion, that it reflects an argument. So here's the actual writing prompt. You will locate 5 source materials, 3 undergraduate programs, 1 graduate program, and career information from Bureau of Labor Statistics. Based upon the lecture for each source, you will summarize, assess, and reflect. You will summarize the main arguments of the source, including the topics covered. You will assess the source for its usefulness, determining if the information is reliable. This may be in contrast to the information provided by the school. Lastly, you will reflect on the source, determining also if it is helpful and if you can use it within your research project. You must dedicate a paragraph to the summary, to the assessment, and the reflection. In essence, under each source material, you should have 3 paragraphs. And so this is further explored in the lecture itself. But the reason why I chose 3 undergraduate programs, 1 graduate program, and career information as the 5 annotated bibliography entries is because you want to make sure that that you are applying to at least 1 to 3 institutions, of course, for undergraduate programs. But that's a given because most students apply for 10. I just wanted to just make a point about researching and preparing before you actually write the personal statement. The graduate program, however, is a little less unique if the student is transferring from the community college to the 4-year institutional context. Why would they need to be concerned about the graduate program yet they haven't even received their undergraduate degree? Well, this researching part of the process will inform you about certain types of career fields that would require a master's degree or PhD degree. The worst thing you could do is graduate not knowing certain knowledge. For example, I always use the accountant career field as a good discussion opener, or just getting students to think and reflect, because for accounting or to become an accountant, you need to have the minimum requirements, which is a bachelor's degree in the field, right? Accounting or whatever. And then because you create and sign the financial statements, you must have a CPA license. So the CPA license could be a part of a graduate program. If you are working for an institution that will pay for that license, that could also be part of their graduate programming. But this tells you that for certain programs you need to have, for certain fields you need to have a graduate degree. If I want to teach at the community college, all I need is a master's degree. There are non-core courses that require a bachelor's degree. But anything that's history, science, English, science, history, math, core credit courses, I have to have a master's degree to teach. If I want to teach at the university level, I need a PhD or be enrolled in a PhD program, likely at the dissertation level. So this is information I wish I had known to research prior to graduating, because this is information that I would have needed to know. I knew enough to know that I needed a graduate degree in order to teach at the college level. And so I said to myself, I remember that I said to myself, I might as well go on ahead and knock it out before life, sort of gets in the way. And I went on ahead and did that. But I wish I had known about the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because then I would have researched career information. And I just assumed that I was going to earn a BA, MA, and PhD in English and just go on ahead and teach at the university level. But life kind of, got in the way. And I was happy to teach at the community college level. That's not the problem. But I do realize that when I graduated with my master's in English, that is sort of boxed me in only to one area of the workforce, that I didn't have any business courses I could have leaned on when I was going through my setbacks, things like that. So researching this information much earlier in students researching this information, or the composition instructor encouraging students to research this information much earlier, will save them a lot of time and heartbreak. And so then you go on the career information, which I explore also in the lecture. You type in your intended career objective and you find information about what is required for that field. So for each paragraph, 5 total sources, and 3 paragraphs under where the student will summarize and then assess in terms of the usefulness of the source, determining if it's reliable. Well, you are getting the information from the BLS.gov site, and then reflect where is this useful, meaning that even if you put down 3 undergraduate programs, 1 graduate program, or career information, right, you might find that the graduate program is not useful for you to consider right now. That at the master's level, you might just decide to stay with your initial institution, and then maybe at the PhD level or MBA level or any other type of level, you might decide, I'm going to go to another institution. So you could reflect on that. It's useful information, but not useful for me right now, anything like that. So that's something that you can have the students really, really think about. So the rubric, the annotated bibliography assignment and the personal statement assignment together total 100 points. So this is 50 points. Each source is worth 10 points. Students, I typically will subtract 5 points if students are missing an element, right? And this gives me an opportunity to see how students basically obey instruction. Because if they're struggling with the first assignment, the first 2 assignments, I need to know that very early. Sometimes I would change my instruction. Sometimes I would give a quick assignment sheet lecture instruction, anything to make sure that the student gets what they need in terms of understanding the assignment. And so students cannot just create entries. That's great that they can format the entry according to MLA, but I want to see the content, the annotation, because it is an annotated bibliography. And then, of course, the due date is still worth 50 points, and then there's a specific due date outlined in the syllabus. And then, of course, we always have a plagiarism statement, so academic honesty is key. Please avoid plagiarizing work. This is not a collaborative assignment. Refer to the course syllabus for more information about plagiarizing and the consequences of cheating and colluding. In some cases, I might have students work together in a classroom to format the entry, right? Just to work together. Of course, I give a lecture on it. I will put an entry on the board and teach from it. But the way you would gauge plagiarism and collusion, cheating, would be the content, to see what they come up with individually. And each person has an individual writing signature, so the sentence structure should not be the same between students. They may choose the same schools, but how they arrive at completing the assignment should not reflect a collaborative assignment. So this is your plagiarism statement.